Take it away for Nether World High.
I can't see you speaking, and I can't verify that that's you that said that.
That is me.
Okay.
He says.
I'm not Quantum's
That's what
brother.
she said.
Netherworld High, pilot episode, Raining Cats and Dogs by Devin McBride Wilson. Fade in over black screen with grey static.
Did you think that you could win?
Outside Asphodel Tower, day. Future Mars in black jeans, black t-shirt with glowing gold wings and black trench coat, all of which are cut and torn, showing her wounds, grips the edge of a crumbling skyscraper with one hand. It's a chaotic scene around her, filled with the sound of rending metal, crashing concrete, and screaming souls. She holds the scythe of Santa Muerte, a grim Reaper-type scythe, with a horned cow skull on top in her free hand. Over the black screen with grey static.
That you could bring them back?
Outside Asphodel Tower, day. The ledge crumbles and future Mars falls. From her OTS, we see the remnants of the tower rising up past us and blocks of steel and concrete coming down with us. The sky goes dark and a giant shadowy demon hand reaches down and grabs Mars over the black screen.
This is a mere fantasy.
Linger for a longer moment before present Mars blinks her eyes open. In Mars' bedroom, dawn. Mars, a sullen bundle of wrath trapped in the body of a 14-year-old girl, worse yet, one that's short for her age, opens her eyes to see her room slowly filling with grey light. She sits up in bed, and for the first time we see her grim frown that she'll usually have on. At the moment, she also wears black pajamas. She sighs.
A nightmare. And here I was hoping my life had become less dismal for once.
The room has little in the way of decoration. A half-full bookcase, a lamp, and a computer on a desk, that's it. Mars gets up and looks out of the window, over the small park just outside her apartment building, over the horizon of skyscrapers in the distance, and up at the rising sun. We blurrily blast past towards, outside, Asphodel Sun day. The sun is really a gigantic bright disk against a grey background 30 miles above the vast city of Asphodel. At this distance, the seemingly endless city is a chaotic patchwork of grey and green. Zoom in and tilt on the disk of the sun so that we end up seeing it from the side. Small ripples appear at one point on the surface, and a small figure wriggles its way through. Finally, the figure emerges from the glowing white disk. It's Shadow, the house cat-like creature with two pairs of white, feathery wings, looks around nervously.
Oh, I hope I'm not too late.
He flaps his wings and dives down towards the city. Outside Northwest 4th High School, day. From above, we see that it's a large, multi-level school in a rather old-fashioned architectural style, like it came from the 1910s. To one side is a forest of shadowy trees that come right up to the edge of the school property. To the other side is mostly apartment blocks and towers in American and Chinese styles. Inside Northwest 4th High School, day, Damien Ark, a 14-year-old dark-skinned boy of average height, but rather gangly under his expensive brand-name sneakers, jeans, shirt, and leather jacket, walks through the polished hallway. Mysterious scars line his neck. He grumbles as he walks down the hall. He grips a paper note in his hand.
I guess some teachers can't take a good joke. Everybody else loved my project on stink bugs.
He passes by room 141, which we move into. Inside classroom 141, Mr. Serpenor, a stout man in a tweed suit and aviator goggles, stands with his back turned to the class. Chalk writings fill the green board that he looks over. The class, all 14-year-olds, is pretty diverse. About half are native Asphodelians, born from the long lines of people born in Asphodel, who display some unique features like bigger eyes and comparatively paler skin. The intermixed other half of the class are first gens or themselves fresh arrivals, having been born on Earth or the direct offspring of those who were. Some are African, some North American, and a few Asian. But they all wear the same variety of clothes you see in any high school without a dress code. Most pay attention to Mr. Serpenor, but a few fool around, whispering, while others, mainly Mars herself, look out of the window. Mr. Serpenor adjusts his goggles as he turns to the class.
Can anybody tell me what caused President Margaret XII to abdicate?
Mr. Serpenor looks over the students. Most look puzzled, others bored. But Sakura Kimura, a tall Asian girl and first gen in sporty yet feminine clothes, excitedly waves her hand.
Ooh, I know. I so know this. Pick me, Mr. Serpenor.
He raises both his eyebrows in surprise, but nods anyway.
Ah, yes, Sakura.
Sakura lowers her hand so that she can use demonstrative actions as she answers.
The Butt Clan of ninjas attacked her in the night, and they used their katanas like swing, swing. But then her guards took out their machine guns, and they were like, bada, 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 bada. So then President just stood on a pile of dead ninjas, but saw the fighting, and didn't want to bring war on her people. And that's why President Margaret the 12th abdicated.
Mr. Serpenor stands
no.
stunned for a moment.
No.
Cut to Mars, who rolls her eyes. This time we can see she wears her usual loose black cargo pants and a black t-shirt that this time sports a red blood drop design.
Anyone else have an answer? A serious one?
Mars resumes drawing doodles in her notebook. She looks out of the window at the grey sky and frowns deeper. In downtown Asphodel, day, Shadu flies over tall skyscrapers over the wide district of downtown Asphodel. Having been the centre of Asphodel for the last 20,000 years, the towers are both very, very tall and built in a unique mixture of styles from across Earth's history and in styles unique to Asphodel. But it's nothing new to Shadu. Sweating, he nervously looks down and around, searching for something.
Where will I find those souls pure enough, strong enough to take this task on? Where, oh where?
A shadowy, quadrupedal figure flies up behind Shadu. Shadu senses it with wide eyes and looks back.
Amit? What a nice surprise to find you here, just as I'm running out of time.
Amit is a wingless dog-like creature with a crocodile head. He hovers at the same speed as Shadu and has been cursed to speak with a sultry female voice.
I can't let you do this, Shidu. My masters can't afford any obstacles when they march on this realm.
Shadu keeps flying but still looks back at Amit.
Gosh, Emmett, old nemesis of mine, I'd love to stay and chat, but I really must be going.
Shadu turns and zooms away in a zigzag pattern, leaving Amit behind. Amit sighs and pouts.
Still the same as ever. You couldn't hurt a fly.
Amit flies off in pursuit of Shadu. Cut to Shadu, who blazes forward, wings flapping intensely.
I must say, this isn't going as well as I hoped it would. Who can I find at such a short notice? Maybe someone at the Coliseum? The police station?
Shadu looks back and sees Amit doggedly on his tail.
Normally I'd love the company, Emmett, but not this time.
Shadu dives down towards the busy city streets of Asphodel. Outside Urban City Street's day, Shadu dives down in between the canyons of buildings and straightens out just over the tops of the cars and trucks.
This should slow my persistent friend down.
Amit dives and straightens out behind him and puts on a bit more speed to try to catch up to Shadu. Amit taunts Shadu a bit as they approach an intersection.
You're being bolder than usual, Shidu. If I didn't know any better, I'd say.
Amit's line is cut off as he is hit by a city bus. Plastered to the front grille of the bus, which keeps on driving, all Amit can do is blink and struggle to move his mouth.
Curses. Ow.
Shadu keeps flying. He only lightly smiles.
As ever, the 41's timing is impeccable.
Shadu looks up and sees the sun approaching the moon position directly overhead.
Oh no, I've really got to hurry.
He flies faster just above the traffic. A woman driving a minivan stares at him in wonder and rear-ends a sports car with the sound of rending metal.
Oh my. Oh my.
In the Northwest Force High cafeteria day, lunch ladies, some frumpy, others beaming, put the final touches on fresh, steaming food, fish, rice, vegetables. Lunch lady Hathora, rather muscular and intimidating under her apron, gloves and hairnet, puts down a pot of brown gumbo and looks up at the clock with a frown. Right as it ticks over to noon, the lunch bell rings.
It's go time, ladies.
Sensing something, she looks out the tall cafeteria windows to the school field beyond.
Eh?
Outside Northwest Force High Field day, it's a wide field to one side of the school, mostly empty. A small part of it is taken up by a sad-looking baseball diamond, but it's otherwise unremarkable and mostly empty. Plain concrete benches are scattered across the field, with most on the south side facing the apartment towers and blocks across the street. It's on one of these benches that Mars sits, brooding and looking somewhat depressed as she eats a hamburger. Damien has his headphones on and listens to hip-hop music as he walks alongside the fence, as it happens, in Mars's general direction.
What's cooler than being cool?
Sakura comes out of the doors and onto the field. She smiles and looks around and squeezes when she spots Mars. Sakura sprints off across the field towards her. Outside Asphodel Skies, day, Shadu flies higher now, above the somewhat lower towers and blocks surrounding downtown. He's flying frantically and sweating.
You always were one to be thorough, Amit.
Track sideways to show that Amit, bruised and scratched, is following him again. On either side of Amit is a juvenile infernal drake, creatures half again as large as Amit that look like small dragons with 4 legs, leathery wings, and plenty of bony spikes. Green smoke issues from their mouths as they quickly flap their wings. Amit growls, showing his fangs.
Huh? Why must you always be so benevolent, Shidu?
Amit raises a front leg.
Get him!
The drakes fly faster, moving a bit towards Shadu. They both spit gobs of green acid at him. Shadu gulps. He twists right out of the way of one gob of acid, only to cross right into the path of the other. It hits both wings on his right side and starts to burn through them with a low fizzle. Shadu loses control of his flight and starts to plummet. End of Act 1. Act 2. Outside, NWCA Highfield Day. Sakura stands behind Mars and puts her hands over Mars's eyes playfully.
Guess who it is, Miss Grumpy Buns?
Mars doesn't react much, apart from her frown edges into snarl territory.
Please don't, Sakura.
Sakura takes her hands off and bends her head over to look at Mars upside down.
Oh, Mars.
Outside Asphodel Skies, day, Amit and the 2 drakes watch as Shadu plummets in the school's general direction.
Let's savor this moment,
Outside, NWCA Highfield Day. At first, Damien has his headphones on, and Sakura is busy bugging Mars, so they don't see Shadu falling towards them, until Shadu slams into the ground between them. There's no explosion or anything, just a small spray of dirt as Shadu makes a shallow crater. Damien raises an eyebrow, takes off his headphones, and starts walking over. Sakura, meanwhile, sprints over, excited. Mars lingers for a moment before she gets up and disinterestedly follows Sakura. Damien and Sakura watch as Shadu struggles to his paws. He looks up at them just as Mars arrives behind Sakura.
Oh, the poor kitty.
Shadu smiles at them.
I need your assistance. I don't think I can fly with this damaged wing.
Close on the wing to briefly show that the acid damage has stopped spreading and smoking, but has definitely eaten away more than half the wing. Mars shrugs.
So go see a vet or something.
Shadu steps towards them. He stumbles at first, still readjusting.
Please, you must become the guardians of Asphodel.
Damien looks incredulous.
And do your dirty work for you? Yeah, right.
Damien and Mars turn away, but Sakura gets on one knee like an honorable knight.
I'll fight for you, Mr. Kitty.
Outside Asphodel Skies, day.
He's down. Let's make sure he stays down this time.
Amit flies down towards the school, followed closely by the 2 drakes. Outside NWCA Highfield, day, Shadu raises his voice to address Mars and Damien as well.
I have brought 3 prophesized weapons of Elysia with me, which the chosen guardians will banish demons from their realm.
This gets their attention. Both Mars and Damien stop. Damien turns around first, then Mars.
Let's see what you've got, Angel.
Shadu closes his eyes and lowers his head in a prayer/incantation.
I call forth the holy weapons that the pure beings of Elysia have provided me in their benevolence.
3 balls of blue-white energy appear around him. Each one floats towards Damien, Mars, and Sakura. The ball of energy in front of Damien resolves into an Elysium rocket launcher, like a regular shoulder-mounted rocket launcher, but in silver and blue.
Nice.
The ball of energy in front of Sakura resolves next into a pair of golden chakram rings.
Wow, so cool. I'm a real superhero now.
Sakura grabs the chakrams and does superhero poses with them. Shadu opens his eyes and watches as the ball of light in front of Mars resolves into the scythe of Santa Myrtwe, one in the standard black colours and with the top half of the horse skull fixed to the top, unlike the future scythe's bull skull. Mars looks up and sees that the scythe is a little taller than she is. Looking as grim as ever, Mars grips the scythe in one hand. Behind Mars and Sakura, other students, no named ones, stare at them, seeing them as a couple of freaks. The class bell rings and the other students turn and start slowly walking inside. Amit and the two drakes finally reach the field. Amit lands while the drakes hover above the ground on either side of him. Amit focuses on Shadu and smiles as he moves forward.
Look, your wing is beyond repair. Your mana's low. I can smell it. You've already lost, Shadu.
Shadu fully faces Amit and has a defiant expression.
Not exactly.
There's the sound of a footstep off screen, and Amit looks up to see Mars, Damien, and Sakura with their weapons raised. Amit gulps in fear, then suddenly shakes his head and refocuses.
Son of a... You may have found some naive stooges to be your so-called guardians of this doomed realm, but that won't stop us. Attack!
Cut to the two drakes. They launch forward. The drake nearest the camera opens its mouth wide and spits a gob of acid like before. The other drake follows suit. Shadu ducks out of the way of the first gob of acid, and Damien jumps away from the second one.
Quick, use your weapons.
Sakura raises her chakrams, but she looks at them sweating, confused.
But I don't know how to fight. With these, I mean. Yeah.
Shadu looks at Sakura.
Throw them, like those novelty flying plastic discs.
Damien looks over as he raises his rocket launcher into firing position.
You mean a frisbee?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Damien rolls his eyes and then looks forward and aims the rocket launcher right at the nearest drake, which roars at him.
Don't you take that tone with me, hellbeast.
Damien pulls the trigger. A glowing silver rocket blasts out. It sails through the air and hits the drake dead on. The rocket burrows into the drake.
Gotcha!
As the drake roars in pain, shafts of white light erupt from its body. What's left of the drake's body burns into ashes. The other drake flies towards Sakura, who backs up.
It's now or never.
She nervously throws one of her chakras, only somewhat hard. The chakram slices through one of the drake's wings. The cut only slows the drake down a bit. It also makes the drake mad. The drake spits another gob of acid at her, but she ducks at the last second. The acid hits the ground behind her and fizzes. Shadu runs as best he can toward her.
Throw it again. Harder. Have some confidence in Alicia.
Sakura breathes deep.
Here goes. Yeah!
She throws the second chakram much harder. The chakram spins through the air and with a shlunk, lodges itself vertically into the drake's head. With a surprised grunt, the drake burns away into ash like its compatriot. Amit looks very angry. He spits on the ground and stares at Shadu.
You know, for an angel of hope, it was making me awful angry.
Amit sprints towards Shadu. Shadu can only stare in fear. Amit leaps up to strike, but at the top of the curve there's a slight shlick sound, and Amit, with a surprised expression, falls to the ground in two pieces. Cut to Mars, who holds her scythe down, which now drips with black blood.
She was getting on my nerves.
Amit can't move as he lays on the ground bisected, but can still talk.
Hey, I'm a guy, you know.
Shadu walks up to Amit's head.
Tell your dark princess that Asphodel will not be conquered so easily. It should not be their stepping stone to Earth.
Amit sticks his tongue out at Shadu. A small red hell portal appears right underneath Amit and he sinks into it. The hell portal disappears right after and leaves no trace on the school field. Damien lowers his weapon.
So, that happened.
That was so cool. We should form a superhero team or something.
Mars crouches down and gently touches the ground where the hell portal was. Shadu approaches her and she looks at him as he speaks.
It seems the scythe of Santa Muerte has chosen you. As such, you are the leader of the Guardians of Asphodel.
Mars just stares back at him with her usual grumpy frown. Shadu is surprised.
This is a joyous occasion. You have been chosen by Alicia.
Mars frowns the same as ever.
We should have a celebration.
Again, Mars simply frowns. Same shot as before.
It's not that every day that.
Shadu gives up and sighs. Cut to Sakura. Her two chakrams shrink into a pair of bracelets that look like smaller versions of the chakrams, though with the slightly rounded blade edges for safety.
Awesome. Deadly and fashionable.
Sakura puts one chakra bracelet on each wrist, then gasps as she glances at her watch.
Oh, poop! It's 10 minutes in the math already. I'll catch you guys later.
Sakura runs off towards the school entrance. Damien's rocket launcher shrinks, keeping the same form into his open palm. He grins as he jams it into his jeans pocket.
Now I can say, why yes, that is a rocket launcher in my pants.
Shadow ignores that joke as he approaches Damien.
I know about your past, Damien Dark. It is my hope that using these weapons and fighting to keep the city safe will erase the scars the demons left on you.
Damien looks from side to side nervously.
What scars? This is just a tattoo. Yeah.
Damien crouches down and looks at Shadow.
Okay, they're scars. I admit it. But don't tell anyone, all right?
Shadow nods. Damien smiles and pets Shadow for a moment until Shadow blushes and frowns.
I appreciate your intent, but I am not a cat, and this is becoming awkward.
Damien chuckles a bit as he stands up.
Well, I'll see you around.
Damien idly whistles a random tune as he walks back to the school building. Mars watches Damien walk away for a moment, then looks down at Shadow.
Don't shrink the scythe. I'd like to keep it this way.
Shadow looks up at her.
As you wish, Mars is St. Julian.
Mars cringes.
Ugh, please, just call me Mars.
Shadow smiles.
The Roman god of war. Fitting.
Mars slings the scythe over her shoulders, and she and Shadow look out towards the city. The camera begins to slowly zoom out to include more of the surrounding environment. Birds fly through the trees on the bottom of the screen. A sports car drives through the streets to the north on the top of the screen. As Mars and Shadow start to become small figures near the center, Shadow adds one last bit.
Don't you have class too?
Don't ruin the moment, kitty.
By this time, it can be seen that a few hills and even a mountain are covered by the endless urban fabric of Asphodel.
The name is Shadu.
Don't ruin the moment, Shadu.
Fade out.
Hey.
Yay! Thanks, Devin.
Oh, it's so good to take the mask off.
No, that was not the agreement. Keep it on.
Oh my god, Vince, you look so warm.
Just ruffle your hair up, man.
Oh
Make
my
it look
goodness.
crazy.
Oh, he's so freshly shaven. He looks so young.
He really does.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
I'll leave it like that. I'm gonna go for the what is it? The J.J. Abrams look.
Excellent.
Yeah. Where are the reboots?
Oh. So before we dig into any notes that we may have, did anyone catch me ripping apart the Doritos bag?
I saw that. What flavor were they?
Regular, nacho cheese.
Oh, my
Best
God.
one.
No, Cool Ranch is better.
Cool Ranch.
No, you guys are wrong.
Wrong. Nacho cheese is best.
It's the chili ones.
You're wrong too, Kelly. Sorry. Wrong.
I like plain tortilla chips.
Those are good too.
Oh, Thai sweet chili sounds awesome.
The cheese ones are still better.
We got some people saying Cool Ranch is love and life.
Yeah, they're right.
They're good, but they're not as good as the cheese ones.
Well, I feel like isn't there like a channel now? It's called like Everyday or Everyday Life or something like that. We could just hop over there and have a Doritos discussion.
That's true.
We're sort of in the middle of something, Vince.
Oh yeah, right. So on that note, let's
Segway man.
let's start from the top and go to the bottom. And if you guys have any notes, praise, constructive criticism, go ahead and let it out. So Kat, you're up, Miss Narrator, Miss Awesome Narrator.
I have no notes.
Oh, okay.
Next.
Was it Kelly? Kelly
Oh, me. Sorry. I rather liked it. One of the things I liked with Shadu was the dual winged things, because in Jewish lore, angels come with multiple wings. Like the seraphim are described as having 9 sets of wings that completely cover them.
Mhm.
So that was like really cool.
All right. M.
I don't have much in the way of notes. I do like the characters, and I like the direction it's going in. It's hard for me to give anything with 18 pages.
Okay.
But I think it's on a really good path, and you have a lot of different characters that'll work well on screen together. So just keep going.
All right. Mr. Ori.
Okay. That was kind of a fun little story. I'm interested in finding out more of the background lore, because we just sort of hit the ground running, and you're not given a lot of what I imagine is a rather extensive background. So, but if it's going to be the first part of a series, then it should be fine. But yeah, that's what I've got.
Cool. Thank you. Ornetta.
Ooh, of course I'm joining the don't have a lot to say crowd.
Okay.
It's not really the type of thing that I would watch. I see how that's appealing to a group of people, and I know that these types of stories have kind of a large following. But for me, it just kind of feels like it needs something more, because I feel like I've seen all this before. You know, this tough guy and this smart Asian girl, and this girl who's not really interested, but oh well, she's got to do it anyway. Have to band together to save the world, and then they're brought together by this mystical cat that no one can really explain. And for some reason, that makes me think of Sailor Moon, and I don't know why. But I just feel like it needs something different that sets it apart. But again, this is coming from me, who's not necessarily a part of that community who would appreciate the story. So take what I say with a bit of a grain of salt.
Okay. Quantum, or what is it, Rudolph?
I don't really have much to say. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was definitely entertaining, and yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Script Chick, were you listening? Do you have any notes?
Yeah. I was listening. So was it established? Is this a animation pilot?
It wasn't specifically told to us, but I think Smish said yeah. I think it's geared towards animation.
Okay,
I'm
because that would
pretty
be
sure, yeah.
okay. Because that would be my biggest thing, was that this feels like a Saturday morning. Do kids watch Saturday morning cartoons anymore? I don't know. But like kind of that block you wake up to with Ninja Turtles, My Little Pony. Like it all feels like it's in that world. So that's kind of where my notes are coming from. I feel I loved Sakura's introduction. She had like a lot of personality, a lot of character. So she stood out the most to me for what it's worth. I think Mars needs some work, because I feel like you're setting up Mars as the main character, and I just didn't have a lot to go off her. Like I know she's kind of the grumpy cat to Sakura and like the other people, but to seem like this leader, I don't know. I wasn't on board with that. I do think it's a little confusing to have a dream of future Mars when you haven't really set up this as like a time travel thing. Like I definitely get fantasy, and that's fun, but I don't really get this whole like future Mars. I'm not sure if the audience will get it either. As much weight you're giving it that people will pick up on, I'm not so sure. But I do like, the opportunity to try to introduce us more to this world, so we know it's not exactly Earth, or, there's like stuff a little different, and like you're expecting something strange. So I think there's a lot of great world building here. I did notice on page 3 that there was a lot of description for basically to get to a line that you would almost instantly open with. The Mr. Serpenor's line was just kind of like this defunct like lead into the scene, but we had this whole chunk, almost half a page of text before that. So I just don't feel like that's natural to how the scene would actually play out. So I would try to focus on condensing as much as you can. What else? I do remember, I think it's so cool when they get the weapons, but they all seem to kind of buy it really easily. So again, I don't know, because this is a new world to me, I don't know if this is so completely normal for them. Like if there would be any reservations, like they all seem to take to it really easily and to believe this person. Which it was cute. Sakura was kind of on board, but did she really believe? Like, I just don't know if her character is like gullible or if she's just kind of like play along with it, like she doesn't believe the guy either. So I think it's a good start, but more character development, just so I kind of know who these guys are before you launch into the, I guess is pilot. Yeah, before you launch into the series. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Sergio.
What's up? I would have to agree a lot with what Scriptcheck was saying. I agreed, especially so with the descriptions. It seemed like there was a lot there to get to some things that could have been said, like there was a moment where one of the characters slams onto the ground, and it's like it's not an explosion; it's just a bunch of dust. It's like, okay. I felt like that could have been a little bit quicker, but it's a fun script. I really enjoy the Sakura character. She's a very fun character. And I relate to that a lot because I tend to be that person too. So that was really fun to hear. And I do like the lore around this. I'm very much a person of world building. Then I like how this is kind of like on a different planet and it's these different species and also heaven, hell sort of relationship going on. So I think it's really cool and I can't wait to see where else it goes with a little bit more work on it.
Cool. Thank you. Smish.
Smosh.
Ping pong.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of feedback just because I was a little distracted promoting the table read on Twitter. By the way, follow us at Twitch Film on Twitter, guys. And our website, twitchtablereads.com. Ha ha ha. Anyways, is it shameless though? Plugs are always shameless, apparently. But I have no shame. I shouldn't feel.
I have no shame either. I ate a Doritos bag.
So that was great. That was a highlight for me. So Devin sent in another script we did before, which was called Galaxy Totems. I don't know if you guys remember that one we did with the little totem things. Yeah. So this is the same writer. And the only thing I wanted to say is I think it's really cool that Devin kind of knows his niche. And he's writing in it. And yes, this is supposed to be animated. I posted a quote from him in the chat that it's a gothic themed action cartoon series aimed at kids 9 or older. And I know that Devin is planning on submitting this to Amazon Studios in the next couple of weeks. So I wish him the best of luck with it. And thank you for letting us read it.
Cool beans. Mike, who absolutely killed it tonight, despite him being casted as an angsty young woman.
Yeah, and now I have to give notes after script check. It was like so easy, and then she had like 5 minutes. But I agree with a lot of what she said. I thought her point about Mars, and actually Ori's point about the characters in general not being anything totally new, I'm actually really willing to forgive based off the kind of show it is. This kind of cartoon action show, has this well-developed action, and here's the bad guy that you build up to over the season, and then eventually they beat him. And what matters is that the characters sort of fit in together in an entertaining, at 30 minutes at a time way, and they don't really need to be new or well-developed or anything like that. And for that purpose, I think the 3 characters were actually all pretty cool. There's the hint at Damien's like scar thing that we don't really totally know what it's about. Sakura's this like bubbly, energetic all the time character, which I think will have some cool parallels next to Mars being grumpy all the time. I agree with Scriptchick that Mars doesn't really have a big enough role in this if she's going to be the main character, like it seems like she's going to be. This whole leader thing being sprung on her out of nowhere is just seems sort of forced. I don't know. But I think there are two things that are set up here that I noticed that I think could be cool if they continue moving forward. One is the world itself, this sort of buffer world between hell and Earth. I know he says something like, you can't get to Earth. You don't think of us as your way to get to Earth or something like that. And I thought that like the whole world in general is sort of a cool idea, not really fleshed out in the pilot, and that's fine, but I'd like to see more world building in like future episodes. And I think the theme of Shedu being this like sort of mentor to the team in some way, training them to fight for good and that kind of stuff, but being confused as a cat everywhere he goes, and people keep petting him and calling him a cat, and he keeps getting upset about it. Could be a good running joke. I think his character is actually pretty cool. And overall, I think it's for what it is. I mean, you know, I'm not a 9-year-old child who watches gothic cartoons on Saturday mornings, but if I was, I think I would like this. I think it's pretty good. And I want to thank Devin for letting us read it.
Cool, thank you. All right. On that note, let's go ahead and hop to our next script, guys. So everyone switch over your PDF readers, your Adobe Acrobat, or whatever you're using.
Are we doing Black Death Blues?
Yes, we are.
Okay, cool. I thought so. Just confirming.
Yep, we're up on Kenneth's script now.
Leper guy. Hey, Ken. I wonder if there's lepers in this. Oh, we just said the same thing at the same time.
That was really freaking creepy.
Oh, it was weird. It was like an echo.
It was like lepers.
Is that how tasty they are?
Well, I didn't say though. Hey, Sitnass.
Oh, Sitnass missed the mask. I really don't want to put it back on. All right, I'm going to be narrating this one, so I don't want to wear the mask for this because people were saying.
Are you narrating, or are you the narrator?
I am both because I'm fantastic.
Holy Moses!
I don't want to put on the mask because it's going to be a little hard to hear me. Okay, so everyone that's going for Black Death Blues, are you ready?
Ready?
Standing by.
I like how there's like this every single time.
That no, no. I just
You gotta get that fixed, Kelly.
It's fine. It only happens if I've got the script forward of the Discord app.
Wait, I thought you were doing that on purpose.
No,
Oh, what the fuck?
I can do it on purpose if you really want me to, but I think that would really annoy everybody to no end.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead, guys. We're going to do Black Death Blues by Kenneth Lehman. Open on Black. Beginning in the 14th century, the bubonic plague, also called the Black Death, killed over 100 million people. It was called the Black Death because when you died, you broke out in black pustules. Am I saying that right? People help me. Smish, am I saying that right?
No, you're saying it wrong. It's pustules.
Pustules, thank you. That's like a large pimple filled with black pus. Enjoy the show, folks. Fade in. Interior suburban home night. Family room. Dad sits in his easy chair, smoking a pipe and reading Business Week. An anguished scream pierces the silence. Mom runs in from the kitchen. She wears an apron and holds a dish towel in her hands. She races through the family room as Dad clambers out of his chair. They arrive at the bedroom. Kelly, a teenage girl in a formal gown, stands in front of the mirror, looking distraught at the huge pustule on her face.
What's wrong, dear?
I can't go to the prom like this. Everyone will laugh.
Oh, Kelly, it's not that bad. Just dab a little concealer.
I tried. It doesn't work. You can still see it.
I think you're overreacting. So you got a pimple. Everyone gets them. Your friends will understand.
You just go to your prom. Derek will be here soon to pick you up.
Yeah. You can't let a little thing like this stop you from living your life.
Well, okay.
Suburban home later. The family, Mom, Dad, and Kelly, are in the family room.
I'm so glad you talked me into going. I had a great time.
And nobody teased you about your pimple?
No. It's a funny thing. Most of the kids had them too. There was one thing. Kevin fell over dead into the punch bowl, and Mr. Henderson had to drag him outside and burn his corpse so the rats wouldn't eat him.
Fade to black. The bubonic plague is spread by the fleas carried by rats. So if you have a rat problem, call Ace Extermination today. And don't let them spoil your prom. The end. Hey, clap it up, please. Clap it up for those pustules.
I'm slapping my face. Yeah.
That was funny.
Slap those pustules.
That was beautiful.
Today we learned how to say pustule.
It is not a word highly used in my vocabulary.
Well, why
So
not?
Why
Thank
not?
you, Ken.
Yes, thank you, Ken.
So
Classic
I
Ken.
gonna jump in here with a question. Is this to be done like a commercial?
It sounded like it to me.
But this is really a good commercial parody. Seriously.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Kind of SNL-ish.
Early SNL.
Yes. Good SNL. No, I'm kidding. The current guys are great, I swear.
Kat's trying to get on SNL.
Kat, you
You're all
don't mean
working
that.
really hard. It shows.
So did anyone else find it funny that I had Kelly playing the mom talking to a character named Kelly?
Yes.
I'm impressed that everybody didn't get tricked up.
I'm just brain injured enough that when I was looking at the cast list for this, I was confused.
We all
Wouldn't have to be brain injured to be confused.
The only thing that upset me is that Smish wasn't mom. Smish is everyone's mom.
Yeah,
I
was
was
typecasting
so
this wrong.
glad. I'm
Stop
normally
typecasting
typecast as the
Smith.
mom.
Guys.
No,
Every-
I'm wrapped, guys. I had
Alley
2
girl.
lines out of all 6 scripts, and they're done.
Every time I have her be the mom, she either like, I'm sick, or can I give my role to someone else? So I just stopped casting her as the mom.
It worked.
If it makes you feel better, Kelly, my second time here ever, there was my real name's Tyler, and there was a Tyler in the script, and I was like, why am I not Tyler? And then I realized Tyler was a girl.
You still could have played Tyler.
Yeah, you still could have played Tyler.
Yeah, no, it's
At this
Apparently, I
stage of the
played
game-
Mars.
This was the
You played,
game.
yeah.
At this stage of things, all roles are now gender neutral.
Mhm.
I just realized Touchdown Mike's name is now Touchdown Ike. What happened?
the M got stolen. M keeps
Yeah.
steering all the
We're
M's.
out of respect to M, we're giving up the M's.
I'm just
Giving
like
up,
an M black
giving up the
hole.
M's? Yeah, Quantum's lost his M's too.
entirely too much attention is being paid to me right now.
Should I be Sish Sosh?
Yeah, sure you can. Meanwhile, no one knows what's going on because it's happening in their Discord.
I don't even know what's going on, and I'm part of it.
But anyways, guys, let's go on with our notes. Kat, did you have any notes?
I I just think it would be a good skit for SNL. It's pretty tight, really. No, I don't really have any notes except that everybody's awesome for changing their names. I can see it happening on the Twitch feed. Kind of wish I hadn't M to donate.
Kelly, how about you?
Well, as I said, I rather like the that this is like a very short blackout piece. The one thing I think you might want to consider is, I think Ace Exterminators needs a jingle.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
See, I was thinking there's this myth going around that the nursery rhyme "Ring Around the Rosie" is about the plague, and it's not. But there's no reason that a little jingle that alludes to the symptoms: "Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, at you, all fall, ashes, ashes, all
Mhm.
fall down." I really do think that that there needs to be a tag of a little bit of a jingle. Rather than the "Don't let the rats spoil the prom." I think a jingle would be more appropriate to close that out.
Okay.
But what do I know?
I'm trying to think of a jingle.
Oh my God, M deleted his M, and now
Oh,
he's
no.
just a dot.
The plot thickens.
Where did he
Where are
hide
all
those
the M's
M's?
going?
Wait,
Where
why
are
is
they-
Cat now at?
I donated my C to Ori when she takes it.
Oh my
Someone
God.
may have stolen all the M's. I can't tell who.
Kat, did you want an O and I'll take your C?
Are we,
Yes.
are we trading letters?
We're starting a username economy. Oh, it would appear Serge has claimed the excess M's.
I might have.
Mm.
All right, let's keep going down the list. Mr. Ori, any notes?
No notes.
Okay. Sorry, I was distracted by chat. Ornetta?
I wasn't sure what to make of it first, but when we do talk about it in the basis of being a comedic short, I like it a lot. I can see it working in a lot of different shows where comedic shorts are a thing. I do agree with Kelly that it'd be nice to have a jingle at the end. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to contribute. I liked it a lot.
We usually do. We seem to like Kenneth's lepers a lot.
I love the lepers.
Oh, I
Like,
love Kenneth's lepers.
His harem of them.
Yes.
If you need lepers, go to Kenneth Kleeman at KLMN at yahoo.com.
Uh,
Who's next?
I believe it is you, Quantum.
Oh, lovely. I have
Or
nothing
Quantu,
to say.
Rudolph.
I don't know. I don't really have much to say. It's really funny, and I mean, there's only so much you can criticize something that's supposed to last between 30 seconds and a minute. So,
Mhm. True. Does anyone have anything?
I do. I have a request.
Okay.
I would like to do a recording of this to use as a break on my podcast tomorrow. Just the dialogue, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well, that's not a problem at all.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I will give you credit.
Danke.
Are you talking about the dialogue from the script, Kelly?
Yeah.
You should give Ken a shout in the email that's on the page there, the last page of the script. Just let him know where he could hear that. Maybe
Certainly.
he'd be interested in tuning in.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Certainly. Thank you. You're like.
Serge, I thought your mic get hot for a second. Do you have any feedback?
That was an accident, but I just love this script. This is my favorite one so far.
Okay.
Super funny. I love lepers.
You love them?
Yeah,
They
need
make
some
me
love
fall
sometimes.
all to pieces.
Oh.
They need love sometimes.
This is
You
why
know.
we're together.
Mhm. All right. Well, let's go ahead and hop to our next script then, The Door.
You
Oh, wait,
skipped
can
me.
I say one
Oh,
thing?
Smishmash. Well, I said
Sish
before, I
Sosh.
said, did anyone have any
What the
feedback?
fuck? Okay, script
No,
check,
no,
you go. Go
I
script
just
check.
Huh? Oh, okay, okay. I just wanted to second, like, I love the commercial idea, even with the narrator. That kind of sounds like the 50s, like kids, like, just the lead in. I really like it. Also wondering too, this kind of seems like a setup for you're like missing a blackhead joke or like something involving those Biore strips, where they took off the black kind of icky stuff. So I don't know if like the friends or the whatever, the girl takes off the Biore strip and it's like popped the pustule, but then she's dead. Or I don't know how the black pig works, but I don't want to find out for myself. But good job. I think it's really funny.
All right. Sishosh, 22, you're up.
Hi, my name's Sish Sosh 22, and I like scripts about lepers and the plague. So Ken's scripts are always my favorite. Thank you so much, Ken, for sending in your script. I thought it was funny. The end.
Brief. I love it. All right. Does anyone else have any feedback before we go to the next script? I'll take our silence as the search for the missing M's. All right, let's hop to the next script. Next script is going to be The Door, guys.
Shout out Matt
I'm
Brothers.
guessing this is. I'm
Yeah,
guessing
Matt
this is the
Brothers.
I'm gonna
Matt
guess. The Door.
Brothers. Let's all interrupt Quantum.
Yeah.
Quantum can't.
Yes,
Matt
Quantum.
Brothers.
It is the prequel to The Room.
Yeah.
I knew what you were trying to go for. You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
This actually, Matt told me that he's I think this is gonna be made soon. I know he said he was meeting with a director. So I don't know if it's a sure thing or not, but hopefully, Matt, if this does get made, you'll send us a link where we can watch it one day.
Yes.
All right, everybody ready?
Send us the link. I'm ready. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Who's all reading?
Backup reader standing
Oh
by.
yeah, I am.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
This is The Door, written by the Matt Brothers. Exterior, country lane, night. A single track gravel road shrouded in darkness. Thick bushes and tall trees blow softly in the wind. The moon, high above, flits in and out of wispy clouds. All is silent until the sound of approaching tires crunch along the path. Headlights appear, casting long shadows across a fence as a cab rolls its way towards an ornate iron gate, the entrance to a modest yet old-fashioned country house, just about visible up the garden path. The cab's back door swings open and out leaps Oscar in his 30s. Suave yet startled, he's dressed for a dinner party. Though his tie hangs loose around an unbuttoned collar, his hair's disheveled and his patience is at an end. As he marches up towards the house, Rachel, also in her 30s, well-composed, elegant, and absolutely rocking a white satin ball gown, steps out from the other side of the cab. What looks like a red wine stain across her shoulder, the only imperfection. Without taking her eyes off the shrinking figure of Oscar, she slips the cabbie some cash. She steps back as he drives away, the taillights casting an eerie red glow over her. On the porch, Rachel approaches the house, high heels now dangling from her finger. She smiles to herself as Oscar makes it inside and slams the door shut. She steps right up to the door, slowly tracing a long finger over the brass knocker. She practically purrs.
Are you really going to leave me out in the cold, Oscar?
She leans against the door, casually swinging her heels back and forth. She doesn't seem the least bit fazed.
This was a mistake.
How about I make you a coffee?
You're not coming in.
No, something a bit stronger then. Keep the party going.
Rachel's hand moves slowly towards the door handle.
I don't want you in this house ever again.
She pauses, rolls her eyes, puts her heels down on the mat.
You know, you could have mentioned something like that before we shared a cab. This was your way of getting a free ride?
I hadn't thought this far ahead.
It's okay. I forgive you.
She leans against the door, pressing her face against the wood. She'd seem drunk if she wasn't so composed.
You're mad, aren't you?
Inside the country house, in the entrance, Oscar paces back and forth besides the door, listening but refusing to engage. He clenches his fists.
I can't read your mind, Oscar. Wouldn't this be more civilized if you just opened the door so I...
You know what you've done.
Back out on the porch, Rachel glances down at the stain on her dress, ignores it. She can't help but smile, enjoying this game.
Are you breaking up with me?
Back in the entrance, Oscar stops pacing, senses her tone.
You don't sound too torn up about it.
So you are breaking up with...
How about you tell me why I'd be considering something like that?
Because I told everyone at dinner that you cried during Finding Dory.
Back on the porch,
That's expected. It's Pixar, okay? They're all just so cute with the eyes and the...
Rachel stifles a laugh and butts in.
Then what could you possibly...
I saw you, all right? I saw you.
Tell me what you saw.
Back in the entrance, Oscar leans his back against the door and slumps down onto the floor. He's had enough.
We'd finished dinner, managed to pass on dessert.
Too rich for my blood.
Same. The party began to split off as we wound down, conversations energized by a full stomach. Your friends started to pair up with some of the other guests. People who didn't know anyone else. People like me.
The ball and chains.
Enough. I excused myself while I found the bathroom, but when I came back,
He waits, sees if Rachel will take over. Silence from behind the door. Angrily, he continues.
I saw you, half hidden down the end of the hall, pinned against the wall with that guy all over you. You spilt your wine down your dress, not that you'd noticed.
Back on the porch, Rachel has matched Oscar's position, sat on the floor with her back against the door. Though they don't realize, they're practically touching.
A drunk fool with busy hands.
The returning silence finally makes Rachel contemplate Oscar's feelings. She turns her head slightly.
Do you like me?
I thought I might have loved you.
She can't hide her surprise. Changes tact.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? Or you're sorry you were caught?
She hesitates. Clearly didn't expect to be asked this.
I like you, Oscar. I do, really. It's not easy.
This isn't supposed to be easy.
Easy for me. I have these urges.
Everyone has urges, Rach. It's being able to control them that makes someone a decent person.
I never claimed to be a decent person.
No, I guess not.
Back in the entrance, Oscar stays sat where he is and stares straight ahead into the darkness of the house, lost.
I've done a lot of bad things. Things I'm not proud of.
You're only young once. It's fine.
I'm not used to anyone sticking around for this long. I usually have to end it before it gets messy.
Wait, is this the first time you've been the dumpy? Is that your issue here?
Back on the porch, Rachel can't help but grin at the notion.
If I said yes, would you just release the hounds and be done with it?
Laughter from the other side of the door. Rachel softens.
I'm not one for blaming other people, but it's my friends. They're a bit
Snooty, clicky,
traditional.
they're bloody animals.
Rachel laughs.
No, they're a bad influence. But we go way back. It's hard to distance yourself from such a large part of your life. I've known you for 5 weeks now. The best 5 weeks I've had in a long, long time. But that crowd, they have a hold over me I don't think you'd understand.
Back inside the entrance, Oscar's listening.
I'd like to.
What?
I'd like to understand.
Nobody ever does.
Oscar turns his head, intrigued.
Aren't you tired of keeping me at arm's length? If there's one thing I do know about you, it's that you're afraid to open up.
I'm not the one who should be afraid of me opening up.
See, you deflect, you joke, you avoid any real connection.
Rachel leans forward. Is he getting through to her?
It's who I am. And if that's a problem for you, then maybe you were right to lock me out.
I was right to lock you out because you cheated on me.
Oh, please, that wasn't what you think.
What else could it have been? A light frisking before someone breaks out Pictionary?
I can't help who I am. I wish I could, but I can't change.
Can't or won't?
Rachel glances sideways at her stain, tears forming. She knows the answer. Back inside the country house, Oscar rubs his face with his palms, trying not to crack.
Rach, you've taken over my life in the best way possible. You're intoxicating. I can't explain. Your beauty, your old soul, your complete inability to be a morning person.
He laughs.
I love it all.
Rachel stares into space, mind racing, the femme fatale confidence of earlier seemingly gone.
I wish you hadn't said that.
I don't know how, but you've made me a better person. That's why tonight hurts so much. I don't want to go back.
Rachel seems to have made a decision. She glazes over, turning cold.
You're sweet.
I don't know what to do.
Rachel turns around, getting on her hands and knees and facing the door again.
Just let me in, Oscar. We'll work this all out.
Inside the entrance, Oscar glances over his shoulder at the letterbox flap, being flicked up and down by Rachel from outside, teasingly.
Just open the door and we'll put all this behind us.
Oscar stands up, brushes himself down, wipes his eyes, and smiles. At last. He reaches out and grabs the door handle. Back outside on the porch, as the door slowly swings open, Oscar is faced with Rachel, already back on her feet and matching his stare. For a moment, they simply stand there, taking each other in. Oscar on the inside, Rachel on the outside.
I've never met anyone like you.
Not many have.
Can we try again?
If you let me in.
Oscar's thrown for the slightest of beats. He covers it with a smile and reaches out with his hand. She takes it softly. He steps back, trying to guide her in, but she pauses at the threshold. He looks back at her as she gazes deep into his eyes.
Say it.
Please, come in.
Rachel smiles and steps through the door. Inside, the two embrace, holding each other tightly. Oscar rests his chin on Rachel's shoulder.
They say to never let the sun go down on an argument. I suppose in this case, it's before the sun comes up again.
His face gets close to the stain. He sniffs it, almost accidentally, and slowly starts to frown.
Rage?
Rachel nuzzles against Oscar's neck, eyes closed. Only now do we notice evidence of tear tracks down her cheeks. She takes a deep breath through her nose. Is she smelling him? Then she opens her eyes, revealing them to have turned entirely inky black. Quick as a flash, she opens her mouth wide and bites down into Oscar's neck. He buckles at the knees slightly, a look of utter surprise on his face. She holds him close as she drinks the blood now flowing freely from his neck, down his shoulder and all over the other side of Rachel's dress, creating a fresh stain to match the previous one. Wrenching her head clear to take a deep, satisfied gasp of air, she drops to her knees, clutching the now limp body of Oscar close. Slowly placing him on the floor beside her, she delicately licks some blood off her long middle finger before noticing the new deep red stain on her dress. She groans. Climbing to her feet, she strides back towards the still open front door and reaches out to grab her heels. Pulling them inside, she straightens up, sighs deeply, and slams the door shut. Silence resumes. Darkness overcomes the grounds as the moon vanishes behind thicker cloud. Fade out. The end.
I'm in a glass box of emotion. holy shit!
Get a room, you guys.
That was really well done.
That was.
Don't do that.
Both by the actors and the writer.
And the narrator.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was so good. You guys killed it.
Some good chemistry there, you guys.
I blame the M.
The
What M's?
There are no M's.
Naturally, all my fault.
Blame it on the M with its magic spell.
Matt Brothers.
Yeah, Matt Brothers. Dang, man.
Brothers, what?
What?
That was pretty sick.
My neck hurts now.
I think my face hurts from the facial expression of realizing that she was a vampire.
Didn't you have all the best facial expressions?
One of the minor details in that script is that he literally doesn't literally, but indirectly acknowledges that she's a vampire, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She's not a morning person. Oh god, I can't even remember what the hell it said. Hold on.
She's an old soul, is the
Mhm.
thing you might be thinking of.
Yeah.
I was waiting for her to be a cat.
You were way off.
I was way off. Yeah, I was going back and forth between the Twitch chat and the Discord chat and everything, and people were talking about cats licking their genitals. And
That's because they can.
well, of course they can. It's because they can. But then when I go back to the script, Rachel was like down on all fours at like the bottom door, and I thought, is she at the cat door? Is she a cat? And I got really confused.
You can't meow though. There's no M's.
Yeah.
It would only be eow.
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 Yeah.
That's a really good meow, Kelly.
It just reminds me of what was it, P standing up that we read? Was the one with the Mr. Mittens?
Oh
Meow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, meow.
All right, so does anyone have any feedback, praise, critique that you want to give? I know we gave a little bit about how we liked the subtle references to the fact that she was a vampire before it was obviously shown to us.
I do actually have a couple notes just about the way the narration is written. Obviously, as this is planned to be made into a short film, I guess it kind of makes sense for setting the scene for whoever's directing. But a lot of the narration is written in short phrases and whatnot that when table reading is really hard to kind of synthesize on the spot into coherent statements. So it left a lot of work to be done on my part. Now, honestly, I still don't know. I've given this note a billion times, but I don't know if this is actually valid. Like, if this is, something that you should be concerned about. But it generally
That's a
doesn't
good
take a whole lot
question.
of effort to make full sentences. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll say part of the trouble for narration can be blamed on me. I wasn't really consistent on when he laughs, he sighs, whether you should read that or not. I know on one, I just laughed and kept going, and
That's fine.
I was inconsistent, so that was part of the problem.
Just to comment on what Quantum was saying, I think most of the time when writing a screenplay, it's meant to be a very efficient form of just writing action so you can see it on a screen. So it probably feels like there's not much there, but it's more so for just making the script quicker to read, because it's weird. It's like a form of writing that's for people who don't like reading too much. So that's how I've always understood it.
Yeah, but it's even just small things like the sentence "laughter from the other side of the door." It doesn't take that much trouble, space, or extra verbiage to make that into a full coherent sentence. I mean, obviously, as you said, for all intents and purposes, it works. But
no, I could definitely see that. As a narrator, I could see why that would give you a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but I mean, normally it's not something that is going to be narrated.
Yeah,
Aside from
yeah.
at an actor's private table read, one time or however many
Yep.
times. But
Which is why I
it's
said
not really meant to be read out loud. So yeah, no, I think it's a good question. I think it's just a style thing, really, because I still see scripts on the Blacklist and stuff that are written in this kind of fragmented sentences. I don't know. Script Chick, what do you think about that? You're smart.
Hi, sorry. Can you repeat? I was on a call. Are we getting feedback or? God, I'm such an asshole.
No. I was wondering your opinion on Quantum. Why don't you say it in your words?
Basically, full sentences versus not full sentences for narration bits. Does it really matter?
Oh, I noticed that in the read, just because you're kind of your role in that instance was kind of perfunctory. It's you're just filling it in for kind of, I think, the reader, whereas this would all be so quickly, it was very, because I felt so engaged by the dialogue, it did break it up for me. But I think that's just something you have to kind of do, because it is a screenplay. It's not meant to really be read. It's meant to, be performed and acted. So that's how I feel. It's I guess if you can eliminate some of that, because if you naturally feel that pace going, try not to break it up if possible. But I did notice that too, though. I agree with you what you were saying earlier. Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, I gotta get back on the call. I loved it. Congrats, Matt Brothers. I really want to, with the whole brothers, I want to say Duffer Brothers too. It's just trendy. Everyone get a brother, get a sibling.
My sister's here. Do you guys want to say hello? Hi guys.
No, I loved it. great dialogue. I really wanted to point out like the shifts in personality. I mean, particularly for Rachel, because obviously she's got a lot of more to decide. But even the guy too. It's like I believe them as a couple. Maybe I think maybe sometimes his stuff was a little bit vague. I've loved you since but if there was more examples or just a little bit detail, because 5 weeks isn't that long of a time, I guess, for dating. I don't know. I've been out of it for a while. But if this guy is so smitten, I feel like there would be like kind of little things. I think little things to really sell us that he sees them as a great couple. And also like I love the drop. Hi, Kat. I love the drops of all the info, you know, like the morning person, all that. And this is probably something you don't want to do with it, but I was kind of wondering at the end, maybe you want to make it ambiguous, but I was wondering if he knew what he was getting into. I don't think he did, you know, but that's kind of interesting too, if he's kind of giving himself over to her and he knows what that means. But anyways, great job.
Cool. Thank you.
So
Anyone
I
else
guess
have
as
feedback?
I'm
Yes.
gonna go as the other person in the script. First I want to thank Math Brothers for letting us read this. I think this was really, really fun to read. I think it's hard in this like just two characters back and forth. You don't get any real introduction to them, but you have to get, you know, somehow emotionally invested in them very quickly. It's really hard to set up that kind of dialogue, and I think this actually did it. Even when I was just reading the script beforehand, I was totally like invested in this relationship between them almost immediately. I really thought the dialogue was excellent. And I agree with everyone before me who said that the subtle hints at her being a vampire were really, really great when you realize it and you're like, oh, and now this and this and this makes sense. That's like one of the coolest feelings as a viewer, I think, in the world. And so I think that was really well done. I will say, I don't know how long you're trying to hold back the viewer knowing that she's a vampire. Because when I was first reading it, I know it happened as soon as she said, say it, you know, for him to ask her to come in. And then I was watching as we were reading the Twitch chat, and it seemed like at that exact moment, people went, wait, is she a vampire?
Mhm.
Which, if that's the moment you want the audience to realize it, just a little before Oscar does, I think that's great because that's when most people are noticing it. But if you were trying to hold it back until Oscar realizes it and then everybody just collectively goes crazy, and I don't really have a suggestion of how to fix it, but if you're doing that, the say it part, I think, is just a little too much like, oh, that's a vampire thing. She's being like a vampire needing to be asked in. But overall, I really loved it. This was a blast to do. Script Chick was amazing. The dialogue was intoxicating. It was great. I loved it. So thanks.
Thank you. Any more notes before we take intermission?
Kick-ass script.
Yeah, that's pretty bomb script.
Yeah, I was just like all the way through. I was like, "You guys, this is so sweet." But yeah, not really a note, just kind of a comment, really. I actually skipped ahead because I was reading it and I was like, "Well,
Cheater.
she seems like a dick," and I'm either gonna love this script or hate this script depending on how it ends. Because if he's like, "Oh, fine, I'll forgive you," even though you like blatantly telling me that you have no intention of staying faithful, then that would have just pissed me off. And then I like scrolled down and I was like, ooh, this is exciting. So I was kind of waiting for the penny to drop for everyone as well. But you know, I'm kind of slow on the uptake quite often, so I feel like I would have been oblivious to the whole you have to say it to let me in thing, but it might have seemed odd, but I don't think I would have like realized. But everybody else in chat did, and I feel like that's how it was supposed to be. I think the author at that point wants you to basically figure it out, and if it's a surprise after that, then great. But it's supposed to sort of come as a slow reveal, from what I'm reading in chat anyway.
I was just thinking that what I really like the script and it. But the one reservation I have is the trope of the eyes changing color and the great big opened mouth bite in the neck. I think it would be more of a surprise / shock to the audience if her eyes didn't change and it wasn't this great big, hi, I'm a vampire and I'm going to show the audience I'm a vampire now and bite you, but just do it in more like the nibbling on the neck, and then all of a sudden he reacts to being bitten. I think it would be a bigger shock. I think it would be a bigger shock to the audience if it was done subtly, rather than using the trope of the eye color change and the wide-eyed vampire bite, which actually got its start on Dark Shadows back in the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a couple people agreeing with you in chat too, like on the actual stream chat. Cool. Any other feedback? Or if you're not done with your train of thought, continue, please.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, and I know I repeat myself a lot, but it's just changing that trope up and making it more like a reconciliation rather than she's trying to get into kill him. Because then, even though it's got the foreshadowing of the not the morning person and the old soul, then it's even a bigger surprise when she turns out to be a vampire.
Yes, definitely got that approach in mind. Over the tropes for sure, especially if end up making a budget. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm reading the chat as to see how they're responding to what you said, Kelly.
Doritos.
What's up, everyone? What's up?
I love that mask.
What's up? Oh my god.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
That was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
All the better to taste the Doritos with.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
where's the Dorito haul?
I was. Whoa, Jesus.
That sounds oddly
I was saying
sexual,
before
like-
that it's a shame in that mask that
I know, right?
I can't eat Doritos and drink Jack and Coke like was in the other one.
Like, where
Oh,
do I
you
put the
took out.
Doritos, dude? Where's the Dorito hole? I need somewhere to put my Dorito.
It's the one shaped like a triangle. TwitchTableReads.com.
Yeah, Twitch table.
Also on Twitter.
Also on Twitter.
At Twitch Film.
I'm just
But I
gonna
wanna put it in a
progressively
different hole this
make my hair
time.
worse. This is for you, Kat.
Thank you, baby.
There's no cat here.
I mean,
Give me a note.
cat notes.
Whoa.
I hate giving notes.
Do you like giving oats?
Ooh.
I do like oats.
But do you like giving?
No, I'm not sharing. They're all
You
my
only
oats.
like receiving oats.
Is this like a
You can have
euphemism
some
for something?
Z.
May I have some oats?
Giving nopes.
Nope.
I already gave my C to Cronetta,
Ooh, whoa, you gave your
Whoa.
what?
and I took her O.
Oh, oh.
I cherish it.
Oh my.
I thought you said seed.
Yeah, I think everyone thought that.
Yeah, I heard seed. I heard there was some seed being swapped.
Got a seed in your Dorito hole.
Oh no.
We're down the rabbit hole now.
Yeah, I
This
think
is-
I think we are warmed up now for the
Mhm.
next script.
We formed up the Dorito hole.
Mm.
All right. Is everyone that's participating in this script ready?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. Narrator, take us away.
The Making of Jaws, the first attempt, by Ken Kleeman. Interior suburban basement day. 10-year-old Steven Spielberg holds a Super 8 camera in one hand. In his other hand, he dangles a Barbie doll over an aquarium.
Hold on. Get her, James. Get her.
James, a goldfish, does nothing.
Go on, James. Action.
James still doesn't move.
Mom, I need to recast.
Steven's mom enters.
What's wrong?
I need a new fish. This one sucks.
I'll see what I can do.
Inside the suburban basement, Steven's mom enters holding a plastic bag filled with oxygenated water and a piranha.
Okay, Steven, I got your new fish.
Thanks, Mom.
Later, Steven tries again. The piranha is in the tank. Steven holds the Super 8 camera in one hand again.
Okay. Hey, Bruce. Action.
He dangles the Barbie doll over the tank. Suddenly, Bruce moves and bites Steven's wrist. Steven screams.
Ah! Oh my God! Oh, fuck!
Steven's wrist spurts blood like a stuck pig. Steven's mom enters.
Oh God! He got me. I'm dying here.
It's just a little blood. I'll get a band-aid.
Oh God! Call me an ambulance.
Okay, Steven, you're an ambulance.
She laughs.
Mom!
You get it? You said, call me an ambulance. And I said,
Blood gushes from Steven's wrist and pulls on the concrete floor.
It's really bad, Mom.
it wasn't that bad. I thought it was rather witty. You're not the only one in this family with talent. You had to get it somewhere, you know.
Fuck, 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 fuck.
Don't say fuck, Steven. It isn't nice.
Jesus!
He collapses from the loss of blood and passes out.
You do know we're Jewish, don't you?
She looks at her son lying unconscious on the floor.
Maybe you should just forget about Jaws for a while and make another one of your little space movies.
The end. Ba-dum,
Ba-dum.
ba-dum.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh my God.
dun.
I love how clueless mom
Hey.
is.
I love the mom telling dad jokes.
She's my kind of person.
Thank you, Kwanzaa.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, thank you.
He's the king of short film scripts.
It's pretty boss.
Something like that, yeah.
I wish mom
Pretty
would have bought
dope.
me a piranha.
How expensive are those things?
I have a note.
Okay. With the note.
How do we know it's oxygenated water?
Ooh.
The fish isn't dead.
Hmm?
The fish is wearing scuba gear.
Are there bubbles? Can we see the bubbles?
Yes.
Scuba gear.
Then say bubbly water.
Or bloop bloop bloop.
Snorkels.
No, I'm just
Boy?
kidding, Ken.
Kyrie?
You're agreeing now?
A piranha and
Seagram's-
sparkling water.
Oxygenated water is not bubbly. You can't put fish in bubbly water; it gets stuck in the gills.
I can't.
Well,
Okay.
now we know why the piranha bit Steven.
Then what's the difference between oxygenated water and non-oxygenated water?
individually, there isn't really a difference.
There
It's-
is oxygenated water
Oxygen.
has actually been adulterated with oxygen.
Ice
Well,
Cube.
what
But it
does it
doesn't
look like
look
visually?
Water.
A slice of lime.
This is the only note I can give because I think Ken's really mastered the art of just, really funny short scripts. And I would love to just like read a whole bunch of them like in a collection or something.
Shub
That's on
said
Tuesday.
non-oxygen water is called hydrogen.
Ah, it's funny because chemistry.
I love
Science.
dihydrogen oxide.
It's great.
Dihydrogen monoxide to you?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Can I request oxygenated water at a restaurant?
You can try.
Absolutely.
That would be hilarious.
Can you
Well,
record
they
yourself?
just think you were
Get it.
stupid. They'd just be like, "Do you mean carbonated water?"
I'm
Is
like,
that
no,
what you
No, I
mean?
want
an
the
oxygenated
oxygenator.
water. Why would I want to drink carbonation?
Oof.
Wait,
I want the O, not the C.
carbon dioxide is what I meant to say.
We all want the O.
No one
There goes
wants
great
the C or the seed.
Cornetta's
Cornetta
got the C.
does. She wanted to see.
I was gonna say I've got the C and I've enjoyed it just fine. Thank you very much.
It's all working out.
Now you're Cornetta.
They work
I
together.
also want to say thank you to Ken for giving us a shout out on a website whose name I will not mention, but I know you gave us a shout out, and I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it when you do that.
I think I know the site that you're talking about, and if it is, then thank you. Is it like we can't say it? Like we can't advertise?
No,
them?
you guys can say it. Sorry, I didn't make it. Anyways, let's talk about the script.
Okay.
Who's got the-
Yeah.
Twitch Film at Twitter.
Any notes?
It was good.
I mean, for any notes for like 2 pages?
What
It was good.
about like more, I liked the space line at the end. Can you be more cheeky? I mean, you're already kind of tongue in cheek. Can you be a little bit more cheeky with all the other stuff he's done? Like when the mom's running like past, just all those movies that Spielberg's done that I don't remember.
Yeah, I almost feel like the mom character is so funny. And I think that after her son passes out on the floor, the fact that she keeps making jokes is really good. I feel like it could go maybe a little further than it did. Like she keeps ripping off one-liners at his
I agree.
unconscious body and like snapping finger guns at him.
You know who she reminds me of is the dad on that Jimmy Fallon skit called Yeah. You guys know the dad that always comes downstairs and like totally embarrasses Jimmy Fallon when he's like dressed as a girl?
Mm-mm.
No, nobody else
Nope.
watches that.
Yes, I
Sorry, I
remember
went to
that.
Hat
Yeah.
Table.
Oh, okay. Kelly knows.
Yeah.
High
Yeah.
five, Kelly. High five.
Woohoo! I was thinking what might be. I just thought there might want to put in a Close Encounters joke. Because after all, getting bit by the piranha was a close encounter.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
Maybe as the kid's falling down, he hits his little toy electronic piano perfectly, so it goes. "Buh, buh, 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 buh."
Well, it's actually that melody line is a play on When You Wish Upon a Star. You listen to it. Wish upon a star.
Isn't
did
that the
not know that.
tune that Gizmo plays in Gremlins on the little keyboard?
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.
So is Ken here at the moment?
Yeah, he's watching.
Or it can fall into a plate of mashed
secretly
potatoes.
The shadows. I don't think he has a Twitch username though.
I don't think he does either. I don't think we've seen him in here before with prior scripts.
Alrighty.
Okay. So I think the consensus was go a little bit more with it, a little bit more tongue in cheek. Ooh, can we get
Yes.
can we get the clown horn before we go to the next one?
That's
So we did-
actually one of my ringtones.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh. Oh my god. Okay. Alright then, guys. So let's hop to the next script. This one's also done by the Matt Brothers. So Matt Brothers, we have high expectations now.
Matt Brothers. I'm sorry. I don't know why I just love saying Matt Brothers.
Everyone does. Everyone's been screaming it. Matt Brothers.
It's a good name.
With the Matt Brothers. Yeah, the Matt Brothers. Okay, so for everyone who is reading Who Am I? Are you ready?
Standing by.
Ready?
Ready?
Who am I?
All right then, let's go ahead and let's get it started, narrator.
Who Am I? A horror short written by Matt Brothers. Outside, garden, day. Two figures alone in a large garden beside a set of swings. Beth, late 20s, delicate features masking the experience of young motherhood, pushes the swings, pausing to check her watch. She looks down coyly at Sam, 6, precocious troublemaker, glint in her eye. She looks up at her mum, anticipating the next push. A face off of sorts. Beth is first to crack.
It's nearly bedtime.
One more game, please.
What do you have in mind?
Sam thinks.
Who am I?
Sure, go ahead.
You first.
I said one game. Nice try, though.
Sam huffs but soon lights up. Beth pushes her again.
You're not ready for this.
Oh, really?
You'll never get this.
I will.
You won't.
You seem pretty sure, Missy. Care to make it interesting?
Sam looks up at Beth, puzzled yet intrigued.
I bet I can guess it within 15 questions.
10.
Beth laughs.
10 it is.
Beth stops the swing and holds her hand out. Sam reaches up. They shake. Without letting go, Beth leans down, eyeing up her opponent.
Question 1. Is this person someone off the TV?
No.
Beth starts pushing the swing again, thinking.
Question 2. Is it someone who knows who you are?
Yep.
Beth looks behind her, but Sam's already gone, the empty glass left on the table. Inside country house, Beth's bedroom, day. Sam jumps up and down on her mum's bed. Beth watches from the sidelines, casually folding some clothes, beginning to think harder.
Question 3. Is this person a friend?
Sam pauses mid-jump. Has she thought about this? Beth registers the uncertainty.
No.
Outside, patio, dusk. Beth watches as the sun starts to set. She shivers. Sam is beside the house, watering a small pot plant casually.
You haven't picked Grandma again, have you?
No. And that counts as a question. 6 left.
Beth crosses her arms, smirking slightly.
Well played, okay. Question 5. Have you seen this person today?
Yes.
This throws Beth slightly, concern beginning to creep in.
But we haven't been anywhere today.
Sam remains silent, happily emptying the watering can. Beth gazes out across the garden thoughtfully. Long shadows, swaying trees, descending darkness. Inside the country house, bathroom, dusk. Beth sits on the floor with her back against the wall, clearly mulling this over now. Sam brushes her teeth, facing the mirror.
Question 6. Can you see this person right now?
Sam spits, looks down to her mother through the mirror.
Yes.
Beth slowly looks up at Sam as she turns around, toothpaste smeared across her cheeks. Without breaking eye contact, Beth breaks into an uneasy smile, trying to deflate the tension.
Is me?
Sam shakes her head. Beth's smile vanishes.
Is it you?
Sam shakes her head, slower. Beth freezes, a chill in the air. Her eyes gaze around the tiny bathroom, holding back in illogical panic. She slowly stands up. Sam dries her face on a towel, totally unfazed.
Who is it?
That's not how the game works.
Just tell me.
Sam shakes her head, giggling. She's loving this.
Only one question left, Mom.
With that, Sam darts past Beth and runs out the door. Beth is slower off the mark, but gives chase. In the country house corridor, continuous, Beth emerges into the corridor, fast becoming a much eerier place with the coming darkness. She creeps down the hall.
Sam, come on. This isn't part of the...
I'm playing hide and seek.
That's not what we...
If you can find me, I'll tell you the answer.
Beth pauses, whips around, and stares back down the hall. Did she spot something? Nothing. She takes a breath, determined now.
Fine. But I still have one question left.
Silence.
Question 10. Where is it now?
Sam's laughter, previously innocent, now seeped with menace, echoes off the walls.
Where it's always been. Right behind you.
Beth gasps, afraid to turn around. Outside on the patio, bracing against the cold, Beth peers outside, fumbling for a light switch. The patio is flooded with a bright light. She glances around quickly and then dashes back inside, the plant pot from earlier now spilled onto its side.
Sam?
Beth looks. She pauses, then gives a quick glance under the bed before leaving, failing to notice a pile of clothes now tossed onto the floor. Beth sticks her head into the dining room, visibly on the defensive, creeping around, the empty glass rolling on the floor, cracked. In the garden, the darkness has caught up. Beth struggles to see as she uses her phone to light the path to the swing set. Nobody there, but the swing is swinging ominously. Inside, Beth walks down the corridor with increasing pace. She pauses to think, hears footsteps behind her. She spins around, nothing. Freaked, she pushes on, checking behind her every few steps.
Sam? Sam, come out. The game's over now. You win.
Beth straightens up, defeated, anxious. She listens to the silence. A beat. We observe Beth from various angles, all behind her. Are they point of view shots? Hard to tell. She breathes deep, fighting back the fear. Finally, a creak from upstairs. She shoots a glance up. In Sam's room, a small girl's room, cozy, safe, but empty. A single nightlight casts a red glow across the walls. Beth approaches the bed slowly and, defeated, slumps down onto the floor beside it. Behind her, off screen, something crawls into the bed, under the sheets. Beth smiles weakly, aware of the presence.
You cheated. This isn't hiding.
Behind her, the lump in the bed freezes.
You just lost. Again.
Beth looks up. Stood in front of her, freshly emerged from the wardrobe, stands Sam. Beth's heart skips a beat, but she quickly forces herself to spin round, yanking the duvet off. The bed is empty, lump gone. Sam prods Beth's knee inquisitively.
Mom?
Snapping, Beth spins around and grabs Sam by both her shoulders. She's reached her limit.
What the hell are you playing at? Do you think this is funny? Do you?
Sam, totally clueless as to what she's done wrong, instantly wells up, scared and afraid.
Do you?
Without waiting for an answer, Beth pulls Sam close and embraces her, holding back her own tears.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mommy just got a little too into the game. You did very well.
I think I'll go to bed now.
Good idea.
Sam clambers into bed, already smiling again. Beth straightens herself out and gets to her feet. Mother and daughter regard each other for a beat. Power play over and done with. Sam stifles a yawn. Beth tucks her in.
Next time, I think I'll pick the game.
You're no fun.
Beth kisses Sam on the forehead and heads for the door. Sam pushes herself up on her elbows.
Mom?
Beth turns, hint of a smile.
I never told you the answer.
The answer?
Who am I?
Beth's smile vanishes, turns pale.
You were right. I did cheat.
Beth hangs on her words, unsure how to react. Sam giggles.
It never told me its name.
Beth's heart skips a beat. Sam merely smiles innocently, then rolls over with a swish.
Good night.
The silence creeps back in, only now it's overwhelming. Beth remains rooted to the spot, bathed in the nightlight's glow. She feels a presence behind her, but she cannot turn. She breathes heavily, eyes darting this way and that, but otherwise perfectly still. We're unbearably close. Beth's breathing is now the only sound. She tenses up and holds her breath. But the breathing continues. Then, from right behind Beth's ear,
So, who am I?
Beth finally inhales a terrified and confused gasp. Ever so slowly, she starts to turn her head, straining her eyes to see behind her. She registers something unmentionable, and her eyes do all the screaming for her. The end.
The end.
Hey.
Finished.
Yay!
Yay.
Wow, I really got chills with the voice.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the ba ba doo doo doo.
Oh, I can actually do that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No, it's not log, dude.
Yeah, it's not log. How does
That would be
the little
much
jingle go?
scarier.
It rolls down the stairs.
Alone or in pairs. Rolls over your stomach. It's great for a snack and it fits on your back. It's log, log, log.
Da-da-da.
Matt Brothers.
Matt Brothers.
It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. No, okay. That was
Actually,
great.
they're At Brothers.
At Ruthers.
At Brothers. I have the M. I still
Oh, you guys. You let them have their M.
Took the B.
Oh, you took the B?
Yeah, B.
Boy, B.
So it's the At Ruthers.
I'm a B. I'm a B.
It's At Ruthers. The At Ruthers.
At Brothers. Oh man, this is really fun. I enjoyed the hell out of this script.
I was very intrigued.
I love how everyone walked into it like, all right, I know these fuckers are going to give us a twist. Where is it?
Yeah.
Like, that was the first thing I saw being typed. As soon as we started it, everyone was like, all right, I'm waiting for it. You're not getting me a second time.
Twist is there was no twist.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what you expected, kind of, sort of.
Mm-hmm. I think people were like, all right, the two girls are, the girls are vampires. I was like, no, please no.
By people, you mean me in Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was throwing out theories left and right. She's a vampire. She's dead. I wasn't going to let him get me twice in one night.
I thought the monster was going to be the pot plant.
Oh my god,
It's obviously the pot plant.
The pot plant was the
I
best
swear, you guys,
part.
like a plant in a pot is called a pot plant.
Smitch that we were like, blaze it out. 420.
Yeah, 420.
That's the twist.
Twist is everyone stoned.
The twist is that everyone is a figment of the pot plant's imagination. 'Cause they
She
got-
turns around
got
at the
high
end
off
and
of
it's the
stuff.
police.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a
She
real horror.
kidnapped the little girl.
She
She went to
turned
the-
around and oh look, it's the post.
She runs towards the fence. She misses because
The fence post.
Okay, so do we have any anything we want to critique, or do we like it? Let's give the Matt Brothers some feedback here.
I liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought the dialogue was good. It flowed smoothly. It's like the whole theme of it's nothing like that we haven't seen before, but it was really executed really well, and I thought it was good.
I know I saw Script Chick, like every other line was typing it's.
My only note, I think it works here, hide and seek, but I just feel like you already have one game, and that's like your whole story is around the Who Am I game.
Mhm.
So I don't know, but I can't think of anything. Like I just don't know if you need hide and seek, or it's like I don't want it to be cliche just because I know so many other scripts do that. But I loved, I still thought it worked. So Yeah, but I love the Who Am I and the guy at the end. Yeah, has anyone seen The Witch? Like the voice reminded me of that, when that guy finally appears.
No, I haven't, but I'm excited to hear that.
If
so.
the Mad
I've
Brothers
seen
wanted
Harry
to,
Potter.
if they wanted to skate around that, not having like another game within the game, they could just change the mother to a babysitter and then just have the daughter run off, because then the babysitter would feel an obligation to chase after the daughter or the little girl, because she's obligated as a responsible adult to chase after. And then that way they're kind of playing hide and seek without playing hide and seek.
Well, no, because at the beginning, mom says one game, and basically, the little girl by the daughter by playing hide and seek is, directly, getting around that because they're still playing the Who Am I game. It's just that now she's hiding.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and also I really like the point where she, the little girl Beth has already Sam has already established that it's not her, it's not either of them, and so she turns around scared. And I just kind of wondered because I know there's that movie The Boy. Is that with the little mannequin, the weird creepy boy? She had the main character there had a lot of like domestic violence, like there was a backstory to her why she would be scared and all that. So I'm just wondering if you could have that layer too, where Beth is coming from kind of a dark place, so she has reason to be afraid besides just her kid being really weird. Yeah.
Beside having a weird child.
Poppin' potted plants, pot plants.
I know Ornetta's just having way too much fun with this.
That's awesome. I swear, you guys.
That's beautiful.
Poppin'
And alliteration.
Potted plants, pot plants.
Always a
Peace.
fan of alliteration.
I really love the way the script is written in terms of tone. It is it's incredibly well executed in the sense that like it kind of like, oh yeah, we're having fun, mother and daughter, and then it's like slowly bringing in the horror element. It's like, oh, it's behind you. Oh, I don't, just like it's we actually see it interact with the world, and it's like then the whisper. That was definitely a great way just to be like, and I'm here to get you, and cut. So I really enjoyed the script very, very much. Thank you to the @Brothers for letting us read this.
Good job, Pat.
Definitely, thank you. That's, Beth is a good role.
Okay. Not to take away from anything that was said, but just watching Ornetta and Mr. Ori go back and forth in chat, like, I wonder if they're saying this shit like across the room to each other, because they're sitting in the same
They
room.
probably are.
We are in separate rooms in the apartment.
Are you screaming it at each other across the apartment?
We can hear each other laughing at each other's remarks.
I don't think there needs to be any sort of like, ooh, this is a demonic there's a backstory that deals with the paranormal. In a lot of cases, in a lot of times, you don't need that backstory. You can just be. We don't need to know. I think it's better, in my opinion, to leave it up to the audience's imagination as to what is going on. To me, it makes a better story rather than having it spelled out to the
Also-
audience what is going on, because it diminishes their ability to fill in the blanks as to what the story, what's going on. Let them determine if there is a backstory to this, or is this just something that just happens. Is there some sort of psychological thing going on with either the mother or the daughter that we really don't need to know what the trigger is on it? I mean, as an actor, I find a lot of times that writers tend to do my work, and that is they don't allow any creativity, backstory, character creation for the actor. The actor, if the actor, I should be able to decide if the character has that type of a backstory, you know, mental breakdown, whatever. Not everybody who has these experiences has that sort of thing. You know, take a look at the Amityville Horror. You know, based on, you know, and the fact that they moved into this house built over a grave and all sorts of bizarre shit was happening in it. And it had nothing to do with them or, you know, anything. It just that the builder made the very bad choice of building on top of an Indian graveyard burial site. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know, give the audience and the actors credit. That's what makes a really good movie, is when the actors can create real characters and they don't have it all spelled out for them by the playwright.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree
It
with
also
you
makes
so
it
much.
much more. It also makes it much more fun for the audience. To me, the horror films are today aren't scary because nothing is left to the imagination. Dracula with Bela Lugosi was it's a scary movie because you never see him bite anybody. It's all left to you, your imagination. The really good horror films leave it to your imagination. The current crop of horror films are more like Grand Guignol, because you see all the blood and everything, all the mayhem. So the audience isn't allowed to have that type of experience, and, you know, internal emotional experience. It's all scary. It's all that one scare. And then rather than wanting to go back and see the movie over again, you don't, because you know when that shock, the shock is going to be very, visual, rather than letting you create that. And I think it makes a stronger script, makes a better screenwriter, if the screenwriter shows trust in the people who are going to be, bringing his characters to life, and, treating the audience with the intelligence and the imagination to create the circumstances, because it also lets people talk about what they experienced after the film.
Yeah, Kelly, I really like what you said about from the actor's perspective, because as a director, when I first started working with actors, and I've gotten to work with some pretty experienced actors, I remember I asked an actor once if they wanted me to tell them the backstory that wasn't in the script, and they were like, "Oh, no, like, don't tell me, like, let me come up with that myself." And that's something that I learned going forward, is like that they appreciate being able to bring that to the table themselves, rather than having all the work done for them, as you said. So I thought that was a really good note.
And also, as an actor, that backstory should be purely for the actor, not for anybody else. Because once your audience knows the characters' backstories, then there is no surprise. They can all see it coming.
Mm.
It's like when I create backstory for a character, I don't walk up to the other actors and say, "Oh, this is where this is where she's coming from." They don't need to know that, because for them it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And for the audience, it doesn't matter. The backstory matters to the actor.
Amen, sister.
Definitely. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. Every actor has a secret for their character.
It's not necessarily it's not a secret. It's just something. It's like when you meet somebody, you meet somebody, you become friends with them. They don't tell you your whole life story unless you live in New York City, and then you meet somebody in a fucking bar. You learn their entire fucking life story, including whether or not they were circumcised, within the first 10 minutes of you chatting with them.
Boy.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Who wants to follow Kelly's epic notes?
I think the script was really good.
Who was that? Was that Rudolph?
Yeah.
I really like that script. It was so scary.
Yeah.
It was super spooky.
Gotcha.
Dimension dude saying getting circumcised during a conversation. That is badass,
Oh.
but damn.
And by that I mean within the first 10 minutes talking to some dude, I know whether or not I will know his entire backstory and whether or not what his religious background is.
I feel like
Oh,
a
yeah.
conversation between Kat and I would end the same way.
Dude, I grew up in California. We don't talk about that shit.
Write it.
It's like, why are you telling me all of this? I don't, except maybe to say you're a creep and I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, definitely. What are you gonna do?
So, anything else?
I believe that is it. And we got one more script that we're going to do, and this one is by our very own Oat.
Praise the oat.
Praise
mighty
the
oat.
Oat.
All right.
Hang on.
We got,
Wait, am I, since I'm backup reader, am I doing the person at the table?
was Lee set for that?
Yeah, is Lee back?
No.
No.
So you'll go ahead and do that then.
Sure.
We got to hype the script up. We got to make it so she's nervous.
Yeah, no. I just want
Type
to
it.
make sure we preface this with, Kat wrote this intentionally to be bad.
Mhm.
So this is supposed to be funny because of how bad it is. Kat, do you want to say anything?
Don't judge. Paul came up with the whole thing. If you all hate it, if everybody loves it, it was entirely my idea.
Here we go.
All right. Are we ready?
Yep.
This is Worse Than Dead by Kat Furnace and Paul Anderton. Don't call PETA because that's Furnace spelled Furniss, not Furnace. In case you're concerned for the well-being of the cats. Anyways. Exterior, city, day. A man, Gary, is walking down a regular street in a quiet part of the city. As he walks, a zombie suddenly appears behind him. It approaches closely and then BAM! The man turns around and shoots it in the face. As he shoots it, a woman, Dr. Affleck, approaches from the other direction from an office building.
You have to come.
Well, hi, Dr. Affleck. What? It's not unusual to see zombies in this part of the city.
It's worse than that. You have to come now.
Gary follows Dr. Affleck into the building, which is labeled Global Medicines. Inside Global Medicines, Gary and Dr. Affleck enter the building and enter a lift. Gary nods to the security guard, gives him a filthy look. Dr. Affleck shakes her head. Inside the lift at Global Medicines, Gary turns to Dr. Affleck.
What's this about?
We have a big problem on our hands.
Can't you give me more information?
It's about the zombies.
The lift doors open to a large conference room where a big glass table dominates the room. Several people sit around it. A man at one end has been standing up shouting, but as Dr. Fleck and Gary But as Dr. Fleck and Gary sit down, or enter, he sits down. Gary and Dr. Affleck enter and take seats as opposite sides of the table.
What's this about?
Sit down, Gary.
I'm glad you could join us, Gary. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I am fine. Apart from all these zombies.
Haha. So what's this about?
We called you here because you're the best zombie fighter in the city.
Well, that's not saying.
There's a new kind of zombie out there that we can't ignore.
are you talking about?
Zombie. AIDS.
Gary reacts.
I think you'd better show me.
Inside the science lab, Gary and Dr. Affleck enter a large white laboratory. Behind a large glass screen are 2 rooms. In one room, we see a zombie. In the other room, we see a murderer. On the other side of the glass screen, a scientist stands making notes on a clipboard. The zombie is banging the partition wall between him and the murderer, and it is bloody with his blood. The murderer is lying down on the floor, unconcerned.
Are we ready for demonstration, Brenda?
Just about. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Dr. Bracken. What are you doing?
We were working on our zombie vaccine when we discovered something disturbing. Watch this.
Brenda presses a button and the wall dividing the zombie from the murderer slides back.
But you can't do this. It's barbaric.
We only experiment on dangerous convicts, Gary. It's all perfectly ethical.
Gary seems convinced, but the murderer stands up as the zombie lurches forward and punches it so hard its head implodes. Gore flies out of it and onto the murderer's arm and Hackett.
Yeah, take that, you bastard!
The gore from the zombie starts to smoke on the murderer's arms, as does his jacket.
What the? What the fuck? What have you done? What have you fucking done?
Brenda turns to Gary.
This is where it gets really interesting.
As they watch, the gore slowly stops smoking as the murderer frantically pats at it. Then, without warning, he explodes! The glass wall is covered in blood and guts and bits of jacket.
Shit!
You see why we called you in?
Not really. No.
Well, this new breed of zombie is really dangerous. Zombie AIDS could kill us all.
But how is the zombie virus being transmitted if the person just explodes like that?
That's what we've been trying to figure out. And it turns out that if the person with AIDS is infected with the zombie virus, they literally turn into a ticking time bomb.
Good God! What does this mean?
It means that we have to make sure nobody with AIDS ever dies again.
Oh, if only we'd put more effort into preventing the spread of AIDS when we had the chance.
Too late to worry about that now. So what do you need me for?
We need you to track down every AIDS zombie and dispose of them cleanly, humanely, and without exploding them or yourself. Are you up for the challenge?
Hell, yes.
And while you're doing that, we're going to work really hard to find a cure for AIDS.
Cut to a sick montage. We see a montage of clips of Gary traveling all over the world, using body bags to cover up zombies and snapping their necks. He has some close calls where he has to use whatever he has on hand, like saran wrap, which he runs around and around, confuse zombie before beating his fucking head in with a cricket bat. From this, we surmise the killing is happening in England. We see him accidentally getting a little blood on his jacket and frantically whipping it off and throwing it away and hurling himself to the ground before it explodes.
Shit, that was close.
Gary's phone rings.
Hello? Brilliant. I'll be on the next plane home.
Gary hails a taxi.
Where are you off to, mate?
The airport.
Outside, a big celebration stage in the city day. Gary sees Dr. Affleck and Brenda standing by the stage where the mayor is giving a speech to a huge assembled crowd.
So you found a cure, huh?
Finally. It's just a shame that it took a zombie apocalypse to finally find the cure for AIDS.
We couldn't have done it without you, Gary. You saved the world.
Ah, shucks.
And it is with great pride we give these medals of honor to Gary Huber, Brenda Bracken, and Samantha Affleck for their tireless work saving the world.
Gary, Brenda, and Dr. Affleck walk onto stage and with beaming smiles accept their medals. The crowd cheers.
Gary,
The metal montage.
Gary.
Wow, that's cool.
Fucking did it, Gary. Proud of
Wow,
you, Gary.
Get the man, big Gary.
Fucking damn it, Gary. You
I would
kill
like
us, I'm
to
just
clarify
gonna
though,
surrender
I do
Affleck.
not have AIDS.
You don't have explosive zombie AIDS?
Look, man, it was just a rough night.
Oof.
I thought that was brilliant.
That was
That was
wonderful.
wonderful.
You guys were amazing.
I regret not going with a Kung Fury voice on that one.
Oh god, yeah.
That English accent was perfect.
I had only read my line, so I had no idea what the script was going to be about. And as soon as I realized it was silly, I must have been sitting in my room trying 50 different voices to use for the mayor.
Amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, I was half tempted to get like one of those text to speech things just to add to the silliness and have that narrate like
That
say
would have been
my line for me. But I couldn't get it to open in time, so I'm sorry.
Damn
It's the
vocoder.
thought that counts.
Kat, I have to give you full props because every time it was just before my line, Mr. Ori, I could hear him like howling across the apartment. So I couldn't say anything. And then just before he would read, I'd do the same thing.
That was my favorite part when it was like Mr. Ori had his mic on, but I could hear you cackling in the background.
Yes.
My favorite part in the whole script was that one part where Gary's name was actually Gay.
Yeah, gay.
Also,
I typed it
Dr.
by accident.
Fleck.
Yeah.
And then
Dr.
I
Fleck was
laughed.
the best part.
Yeah, I just left in typo. If I made a typo, I was like, screw it.
Not to
it's
mention
staying.
nominate.
Hack it.
Ominate should be a word. It sounds really cool.
Isn't it a word? It is
I don't
now.
think so.
If not, hack it.
Ominous
Double heck it.
domination.
Rip in peace, Jacket Man.
My only notes on this are I wish it was longer. And,
Actually, I just did a. Actually, it's actually a word.
Hey.
What does it mean?
Oh.
It's a verb. Third person singular, simple, present indicative form of ominate. The etymology is from the Latin ominatus, past part of ominare to presage, from omen.
That just raises more questions than it answers.
Sounds like
No,
magic.
it's it's a form of presaging, omen, prediction.
That is a good explanation.
To foreshadow, token.
Foreshadowing the AIDS.
Yep.
That does damn AIDS.
And it's from the 1913 edition of Webster's Dictionary. So it's an actual word. Sweet.
I have the title of my next script.
So my only two notes are A, I wish it was longer, and B, I feel like you could make it slightly more absurd, though it was really fucking funny. I think a good opportunity for adding a bit of extra comedy is them explaining what the actual kind of cure is.
Super AIDS.
You know, because you've got that common science trope of, oh, we found a cure for cancer, but they didn't really find a cure for cancer. They just drowned some cancer cells in a fucking petri dish in like fucking rubbing alcohol. Like you drown anything in rubbing alcohol, it's gonna fucking die. So it's like, oh yeah, we put it in a petri dish and then we shot it and it died. So cure for cancer, right? Cure for cancer's bullets.
Yes.
So you could pull some
Love
sort
that.
of fucking cheeky joke about that.
That does sound awesome.
I was waiting for like on the stage Gary to be like, oh, like leaning over whispering like, so what was the cure? And then the girl just being like, oh, well we couldn't find one, so we just said we cured it. And he's like, oh.
I don't know. There was something I really liked about the way it's done, where it was like, yeah, no, we found a cure for AIDS. I mean, it really wasn't that hard. It's just like we never really cared.
Yeah.
If only we'd like tried harder before, then like.
Honestly, I've just got to say this was a great note to end on. Just,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just an utter fucking dumpster fire.
In the best way.
I really like the saran wrap scene too. I just like imagine Gary running around as a zombie, just like, sorry,
Shrink wrap.
I was wildly unprepared for this. Just bear with me.
Saran wrap is life.
Shrink wrap.
Yes.
Yeah, some people call it like shrink wrap, cling film, plastic wrap.
Well,
saran
with
I use plastic wrap.
Well, with shrink wrap, it actually will shrink up if you put heat to it.
Yeah, like most forms of plastic
Yeah.
wrap or cellophane do.
It's just like
Bubble
there with a
wrap.
hairdryer and the zombie in like shrink wrap. Like, just wait, like it just needs to like settle down.
Oh
and-
my god.
I love the
wrap-
code exploding. I thought that was hilarious. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what I have against
you
it,
can-
but I have
you-
2 exploding coats in that. Like, I didn't even realize.
But wrap the zombie in shrink wrap, take out a hairdryer, plug it in, just watch it slowly squeeze the zombie to death.
Oh my gosh.
I
Oh
love
wait, what if
that.
4
it's
hours.
on you?
Kind
If
of
you could just
Deadpool.
stop wiggling just a little, just stay still. Stay, no, quit moving. Wait, give me seconds.
Steven, stop moving!
Makes
So-
me take longer.
So would he shrink wrap it and then put aluminum foil so that way none of the AIDS gets to you?
Zombie burrito.
Yes.
Dude.
Serve that Chipotle.
I think I'll stick on my octopus.
Chipotle is the cure.
This all happened on the Titanic, right?
Yeah, did I not mention that?
Whoa. True story.
Game changing.
This changes everything, especially the taxi driver bit.
It's a big ship, remember?
I guess. But it's not historically accurate.
Yeah, there's no band playing while the ship goes down.
You're right. You need to bring the band in. Just imagine like part of the team becomes a band with like a jazz band, and they like the bassist has his huge fucking bass just slamming zombies.
There should be a band at the end during the whole medal giving ceremony.
Yes.
Playing the Liberty Bell March.
So is he just ignoring all the other zombies that don't test positive for AIDS? Like that's just none of his concern.
Also, I love how there's the complete mystery of how the fuck does he know these zombies have AIDS?
Well, he just goes
Fucking
around
death.
indiscriminately killing zombies, and if they,
If they explode, they clearly had it.
Right.
Guys, zombie lives matter.
No, they don't.
But do
Whoa.
AIDS
they
zombie
absolutely
then they
lives
don't
matter?
matter because they're not alive. That's the
Yeah,
whole
they're not
thing.
alive.
Is it
Okay,
his
they have no
official
rights.
job, zombie killer?
Here's the thing, guys. They have no ethical value because they are not alive, but they have economic power because if we put them on big hamster wheels, we can use them as like fucking
Power production.
Energy
power
sources.
plants and they can power our world.
I would also like to point out murderer lives are also they also matter. Jacket lives rather.
Jagged lives matter.
Yes.
So I think the follow-up movie should be like Shark AIDS, which is what Smish was saying in chat. Smish bitch just said this in chat. Shark AIDS.
Hey, if Sharknado was a success,
I said
Zombie
it
Produced by
first.
Steven Spielberg. Stop making fish films. Make more space movies.
I'm actually really stoked for a script we have in our queue called Time Shark, which is about time traveling sharks.
oh my
And
god, I
it's
love it.
totally in the airplane style humor.
I am so down.
Which Shub was pointing out, this was very airplane style, and Kat, I think you should make it a full fucking feature called
Mhm.
Zombie AIDS and just go with it, and it would be awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
imagining
but-
Gary like saran wrapping like an 88-year-old woman on a park bench. She's like, oh, sorry. I thought it's just like taking the saran wrap like off of her head, just gently. I'm gonna go now.
Then she gets bit by a zombie. The twist.
This poor old decrepit woman just getting saran wrapped by a stranger.
And saying, more.
Whoa.
Like she's into it.
Yes. Ah,
Oh, Jesus.
ah.
That's great because I have my family over now.
I'm sorry, family, if there's anybody under the appropriate age to have heard that
No, this is
riff on When Harry Met Sally.
It's all good. My family's dead.
Oh.
My mom's
Actually,
here. If you
Dot.
guys want to do it.
No. You better not show your mom, Oat, any pictures I send you of octopus.
Oh,
Whoa.
what the fuck?
I know where this goes.
I have a thing for tentacles.
I'm sure you do.
Hey,
Have
you
you been to
guys want to
Japan
meet my
before?
brother?
What?
Yeah.
Your brother Oscar?
Yeah. That was actually him, by the way.
No way.
No, you're lying.
No, seriously. Like
No.
I have two older brothers, and we all sound the same.
We
Well,
need to take pictures
Can you
of
put
you
him
and your brother.
on the mic again?
Well, video so you can hear the
yeah,
voices.
I'll send you guys pictures of us.
I'm not falling for this
Like-
troll. Let it be known, I did not bite for this bait. There's only one quantum.
Let it be
Quantum,
known that
quantum.
you are
Rudolph.
like the big disbeliever.
Yeah. I go on record as not believing in the brothers.
The only brothers he believes in are the Matt brothers.
The Matt brothers, all hail.
The at brothers.
The at brothers.
The at brothers.
I don't know.
At brothers.
Uh, okay, well, on that note, guys, let me go ahead and explain.
Yes.
Let me explain how the new volunteering system is going to work. Many of you have already used it, but this is how it's going to go. Going forward, all you need to do now is type .I volunteer. And what that'll do is it puts you onto a list that we admins or production managers can check. If anything happens where you need to back out of it, all you need to do is type I unvolunteer. And that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and post that in I'm going to post that in the Twitch chat, which will also have the link to our Discord if you feel like volunteering. If you are a new volunteer and new to our Discord and want to volunteer, please partner up with a showrunner or production manager so we can check your mic before the showtime on Fridays.
Do it.
Do it.
Yes, volunteer. Because we're all crazy and we're all pretty cool.
Yeah,
and we do
always
karaoke.
And I make bad jokes that no one laughs at.
And I proceed to embarrass everybody over the airwaves.
We love it. And meow. And don't
And meow.
forget twitchtablereads.com.
Sponsored by
And
Zombie.
Twitch Film on Twitter.
Yeah. I just posted the link in the chat. That is a link to twitchtablereads.com. You can submit your script to us. Usually the turnaround time is what, Smish?
Oh dear.
Anywhere between 4 and 12 weeks?
I'm going to say it's between 3 to 12 weeks right now.
Mm-hmm. But we will get to it. And it will be read by these
Absolutely.
amazing people. In addition to that, we have all of our prior videos on that website as well. You're more than welcome to check it out. On that note, let's say goodbye, everyone. Let's air horn it up.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night. Dream well. So long, farewell. Here's a good
Yes.
night.
That's cool.
Just saying that because it fills the vote. Oh, are we done? Okay.
See ya, everyone. Thanks for watching. And next stream, it's not going to be on my channel. It's going to be on Smishmosh22's channel. So let me go ahead and give everyone the Discord. I'm sorry, not the Discord. The Twitter real quick before you head out. This Discord, I mean not Discord. Sorry, God, I keep saying that. This Twitter will actually tell you whether Smishmosh22 or I will be streaming. So that's the link right there. Go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter, and have a great night, everyone. Peace out.